bringing you a quick guide on a really special build that I basically just ripped off of some dude who posted some videos of his character on beta a couple months ago, I don't know, a month ago. Really cool build. Essentially, it just abuses the Tempest longbow, which is the upgraded version of the Stormcloud, faded version. At first glance, doesn't really appear to be anything special. It's basically just the Stormcloud, but with this 100% increased lightning damage. But essentially, what this build does is it just stacks, flat lightning damage on all your jewelry. You can get some in your quiver, and it creates a pretty insane amount of damage. There are budget versions available for this build. This is fairly high end. I wouldn't say that I'm completely optimized yet. I definitely want to craft a little bit more jewelry and play around with using some orbs of annulment and exalting them just to try to min-max a little bit. I mean, I don't even think I'm actually res capped. Yeah, I'm one off on fire and cold, but I still have some work to do. The character is 92, as you can see here, fairly high life pool, and that's actually with Biscos, which is one of my favorite things about this build. Doesn't require an amulet, so you're able to use Biscos, which I think is huge in this day and age, because I will straight out say that Biscos is 100% overpowered, needs a nerf. It feels bad if you're not using it, and that is essentially the perfect candidate for something that needs a nerf. But anyway, now that it's not nerfed, we might as well use it. Still have 7.6k with something you swap into for like progression content, which there's not much that you really are going to need it for with this much life, but you could potentially get a little bit more damage, life, resist, whatever you need if you didn't want to use the Biscos, but I'm going with Biscos. But this build, really special. Some of the pros, I guess I'll go ahead and list like the pros and cons. I think people like to hear that stuff, but let me just tell you, the pro list is a lot longer than the con list. I guess I'll start with, it has pretty insane single target damage for a tornado shot build. Anyway, compared to others that I've played, it does use point blank in the tree, so you're going to be fighting up close and personal a lot of times, which really isn't a problem with this big of a health pool. And you're also using acrobatics, so you get it's a high dodge build also. And with the dark ray vectors, 2% chance to dodge per frenzy, you could potentially get another 20% dodge. I do not have anything corrupted, so I'm rolling with 8 charges, which gives you 16, but still really nice. In addition to the movement speed and some decent resist, they're pretty cool boots. But continuing with the pros, high single target damage. It has great clear speed, potentially elite tier speed. Clear speed. If you wanted to take off point blank and switch to like a Rigwald's quiver, this build would probably clear just about as quickly as any build in the game, especially with a lot of the ball skill nerfs. But it's a really fast build, especially as far as like attack speed goes. It's it's really quick. This is without frenzy charges and stuff. Obviously I'm on a raider, so you get a lot of your speed from killing stuff. Once you get in the map and start killing, it really picks up quickly. But along with that quick attack speed comes quick life leech. So large life pool, quick life leech, vol packed. You don't even notice when you take damage. You have to actually watch your life bar to even notice that stuff's attacking you. You feel invulnerable basically because you're just attacking so quickly, and as soon as you get hit, you're at 100% health. If you get hit through the dodge. So yeah, it's very tanky. This build, I haven't actually done them yet because I'm a puss, but I'm not really too comfortable with these fights yet. I haven't done them many times. I'm sure this build will easily face roll them. I'm just waiting to get a level, and then I'm going to bang them out. I don't feel like potentially dying a couple times and losing 20% of my or 10% of my XP. So, what is 20 or 10? That's 2 bars. Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, I'm going to do those. I'll post some videos. I'm 100% confident this build can face roll them. But yeah, so also big pro, there are budget versions available, pretty effective budget versions. So it could be a league starter. I mean, right now you're looking at some fairly expensive gear with the flasks, the combs, this enchant, and the 6 link. But there are budget options that you could build this from the ground up as a league starter on a 5 link on the Tempest longbow, because this bow is just a few chaos. When I bought it, I got a perfect 50% attack speed. If you're going to start investing fusings into it to try to 6 link it, I would definitely recommend getting a good roll. 50% a perfect Tempest longbow is going to cost you like 15 chaos. So early on you can get this build rolling with basically just a 5 link, and obviously capped resist, but and a decent life pool. But you want to prioritize the flat lightning damage on your jewelry. Other than that, cap your resist, get your life good, and you have a character that can clear early maps and get you rolling, build up some currency, and pick up the big pieces. Before I get into the priorities for big acquisitions, what to purchase first, I just want to go over the cons, I guess. And I think really the only thing that I can think of is that it's kind of vulnerable if you're not attacking and not leeching, because you don't use a life flask, at least later on. So you just kind of have to be paying attention. It's really not a problem. I don't remember the last time I died. But yeah, I mean, just make sure if you're about to take damage, just make sure there's something around that you can leech off of. That's pretty simple. I mean, it does make traps kind of a pain in the ass. Vault Pact in general does, but just instead of a couple of these potions, just take a life flask, whatever. You can make it through lab on this character, no problem. The traps are the only hard part. It's always a joke. This build it trivializes most content. So again, haven't done the Guardians and Shaper, but I'm sure it's gonna just crush those, no problem. I will probably need to shed a little bit of life to get a tiny bit more damage. But alright, so in terms of priorities and what to pick up first here, once you have your Tempest longbow on a 5 link, obviously if you get a decent chunk of fusings, continue to try to get a 6 link, but make sure you have like 150 or something before you start popping them, because you want to at least be able to recover your 5 link. Usually I don't bother with fusing unless if I'm going for a 6 link, I won't fuse unless I have like 300 or 400, just because it feels bad when you do it 150 at a time, and then you're like, oh, I'm never gonna get this. But first thing you want to get is a helm with the +2 secondary tornado shot projectiles enchant. Once you get this, the build starts to fly. This is one of the biggest things for the build. Like I said, it's playable without it, but you get this, and everything after that's just gravy. Probably the cheapest you're gonna pay on, unless you have a lab farmer and you want to fucking rip your toenails out running Uber Lab over and over and over, just buy one. You can get a cheap one, even if it's like armor or ES based. Just get it if it's cheap. You could probably get one for like a really bad one for like 30-40 chaos, and then just roll some life and resist on it. You'll be fine. I did kind of overpay for this. I think I paid like 100. This is for an evasion version, which is ideal. You can also get it on some uniques, like maybe Starkonjas. I wouldn't really recommend it though, because you are kind of strapped for resists. I think your best bet is get a rare or get a craftable evasion based eye level 83 plus or 82, whatever it is. You can get the tier 1 rolls and craft it up. Go for high life, high resists, high evasion. That's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to craft something like what you see here. This is like just I think it took me maybe 5 minutes of crafting to obtain this. I probably will re-roll this at some point once I do start crafting my jewelry. But yeah, so get the +2 TS enchant. And then I would say after that, if you don't have a Biscos, get a Biscos first, probably, because Biscos is going to help you just rack up currency. This, like I said, this item's so overpowered. But after the +2 TS, I'd probably get Combs next. I think I got Combs after that. Huge, just adds a massive amount of flat life to your health pool, which you do have a lot of life increase percentage nodes, so it stacks up pretty nicely when you get a huge chunk of flat life. Then I would probably go for the Dying Sun. This is really nice. It adds the 2 projectiles, which is a massive damage increase. Pick up a Wise Oak earlier. These are pretty cheap. and make sure your lightning res is highest. And then, continue using your fusings to try to get a 6-link, and then get a Vinktar. Vinktar is really good. It helps with reflect. It adds a lot of damage, but it's probably the third flask in terms of power. Like it's the third best flask basically. The other two are priority. But the vessel of Vinktar is really nice for helping out with reflect and adding some pretty serious damage to rare packs and bosses. Keeping charges up while using the other three, and keeping 100% uptime on Vinktar is a little tough. But if you were to go like the super fast clear build with Rigwalds and taking off point blank, you'd probably be able to do it no problem. But I usually just save this for rare packs and bosses. Yeah. So your jewelry, you're gonna want to use essences of torment. So these basically just roll a high tier flat lightning damage. It's guaranteed. Use a bunch of these until you get something with decent life, decent res, and do that early too. I'm not really counting that as a step because that's pretty easy. Use like screaming. I think screaming essences are like 1 chaos, so buy a few of those and just throw them on either prismatic rings, 2 stone rings. What are those elemental rings? I should probably start looking into that also. The elemental damage rings. I don't know. I'll probably try to craft some of those as well. But yeah, that's like the dream. If you can get LE damage with attacks, high life, high res, yeah, you're good to go. Belt, pretty standard. High life, high res, LE damage. Gloves, same thing. I mean, I sacrificed a little bit of resist to get some accuracy, which is nice. That that 1 to 5 flat lightning is really not going to do too much, but it's nice. The boots, like I said, Dark Ray Vectors, these are like a 1C item. You do want to try to corrupt them to get the Frenzy Charge. I haven't hit mine yet, but that's going to be a huge buff when you can get an additional Frenzy Charge. Get 5% more speed, movement speed. You get, 3% attack speed with the Raider Ascendancy, and 3% attack damage, money, and another 2% movement. So yeah, definitely try to get as many Frenzy Charges as you can. I think you can also corrupt an Ami, but I'm not at that point yet. 10 Frenzy Charges would be insane though. Quiver. Same thing. You want to obviously try to corrupt this for the additional arrow. I've gone through like 10 different quivers, but it's kind of a pain because you have to, every time you get another rare quiver, you have to shift around your resists, and I don't know. It's definitely going to be like the jackpot when you eventually get it, but that additional arrow is going to be really nice. But on the quiver, look for flat lightning damage. Look for high life and some res. Definitely want to get elemental damage with attacks too. And the global crit also is really nice because this build uses elemental overload, which without really any crit on the tree, that little bit of crit goes a long way just to help proc that. Also, your Ice Golem, when you're fighting bosses and stuff, make sure he's up because he provides a nice little boost to your crit and accuracy, which will help. He will die a little bit in maps. I think that's pretty much it as far as the gear goes. I had a little bit of trouble getting the 6th link on this bow, but when I did, it was pretty nice to add in Lightning Pen as the 6th link. Definitely huge chunk of damage there, but like I said, it works fine on a 5 link, assuming you're at least willing to farm at a somewhat slower pace until you get the +2 TS shot projectiles. Once you get that, you'll start flying. Add in a 6 link. It's really nice. Combs, gravy, you already know. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it as far as the gear goes. I will also put up my paste bin so you guys can take a look at the tree and what gear I'm using in depth. Yeah, so it's acrobatics. You got all your, I don't know, you could probably go to phase acro if you wanted to. Build, like I said, not 100% optimized, so I'm not really sure if this is worth taking. Like, these 3 nodes are actually really nice, but phase acro, whatever. I don't think you really need it. I'd probably prioritize getting a little more damage somewhere on the tree. For the most part, the rest of it's pretty standard. Up here is a little weird. I took these just because I probably could get rid of them. This tree, you definitely want to be getting more jewel sockets. I just haven't invested currency into getting like really good jewels. If you get GG jewels, it would be insane. Definitely like get rid of this, and I've, like I said, I'm still playing around with this a little bit. I have a lightning walker right now, just because I needed some lightning resist, and I needed to get it over, you know, to be the highest for my wise oak. But it does add some damage, so it's not like a complete waste. Like I said, if you are geared really well, you can get rid of these, you can get rid of these, and then that's basically like 3 more jewel sockets you can get. You can get this one, this guy right here, and this guy right here. So you can potentially get 5 more jewel sockets. Really, really nice once you get some decently rolled jewels. The Raider Ascendancy in normal, go away the Poacher, gives you some frenzy charges. Really nice. This, once you get this, like, you're pretty much just, as soon as you could do normal lab, like, prioritize getting all your frenzy charges wherever you get on the tree, because that really speeds up the leveling process quite a bit. And then Cruel Lab, get Avatar of the Slaughter, same thing. What I basically just copy paste what I just said, just buffs the shit out of your frenzy charges. Merc Lab, Quartz Infusion, 6% dodge, nice. Phasing doesn't really do much, but it synergizes obviously nicely with the next Ascendancy. When you have phasing, you gain 10% spell dodge, and this also provides a pretty nice chunk of elemental damage and some movement speed, which you'll see once you get your frenzy charges rolling. This character does move pretty quickly in maps. But yeah, the rest of it's pretty standard. I mean, you got some lightning damage, lightning pen. Yeah, alright. I guess I'll just roll a map here. And just kind of blast through it just to show you guys what it's capable of. I'll get some pack size. Whatever, it's fine. I wanted a little bit more, but what are you going to do? I got 1 second left. Let's go, baby. Racecourse is great, by the way, if you are wondering what to shape. I would highly recommend Racecourse. Nice layout, good density, 3 bosses. Alright, so yeah, you start really slow here before you get all your charges up, but once you start getting them rolling, it picks up pretty nicely. The only thing about Racecourse, you just can't be discouraged, because every once in a while you're gonna leave these doggos behind. It's not worth waiting for them to come out. So at the end of the map, sometimes you have like 20 mobs remaining, and you know, whatever. But point blank, you want to be up in their faces, just 2-shotting yellows and stuff, like really quick. Fast attack speed's nice. If you actually watch my health bar, you might see when I take damage, the health is just instantly recovered from leeching. I'm having a hard time like focusing on speed running while trying to explain. I'm just not that intelligent, so bear with me here. Normally the runs are pretty quick though. So yeah, Racecourse, real nice with these 3 bosses. Single target damage is pretty good. Could definitely improve also if you optimize your gear and tree quite a bit, so you know, it just kind of melts those bosses nicely. And it's like sustained damage, you know, you're not playing with Vol Burning Arrow where you have 3 shots and if you miss, or like in that boss would probably be a huge pain with Vol Burning Arrow. And you're not playing with Barrage where you need another basically another helmet to swap to for the enchant. It's good, sustained single target up in their face with point blank. So that's one of my favorite things about the build. Just the fact that you can, it's very well rounded. Does everything really well. You don't have to make too many switches to do one thing. You can just jump right back into farming maps, and then you can go run high tier, whatever. Like I did the new the Beachhead map, the new version of it. They updated it. It's actually a little bit cooler now. But like you don't have to change anything. You can just jump right in one of those. You can do the Guardians. Like I said, I haven't done them yet, but yeah, you get what I mean. But that's a nice race course. You know, quick, clear speed, high damage, it's very tanky, great build. I'll go over the links real quick. I didn't do that, I realized, but obviously in your bow you want 6 link, or you want tornado shot, added lightning damage gives you a shit ton of flat lightning. That's a no-brainer. Elemental damage with attacks, elemental focus, GMP, and then as your 6 link you put in lightning pen. In your 4 link pieces you want Wrath for sure. Obviously look at the amount of damage it adds. This is probably going to be the first thing that you want to corrupt to 21. I actually just flipped these because I'm going to be running with an Aurabot pretty soon, so I wanted to get him some 2120 gems for the increased radius. But that's one of the best things about corrupting auras for yourself, is that you don't need the radius, so you just level them to 20 and you vol them. If you hit 21, you basically just get like free 50 flat lightning damage, so that's a jackpot. But what else we got? We have Orb of Storms, which I never use ever, but if you did need a little bit extra crit on a boss to proc EO, you drop that down, and this attacks really quickly and has a high chance. No, I don't think it has a higher chance of critting, but it just attacks very quickly, and it's basically just another source of critting. You want Blink Arrow with faster attacks. That's why. That's sick, especially with Point Blank. You see a pack over there, like a Harbinger. You just step right on the blue cloud and you just go like this. You never die. You kill everything. In your boots, I took these because well, I put Vol Haste in with increased duration, Immortal Call, caster damage taken. It's nice, just increases obviously the duration of Vol Haste, which sometimes can be very nice. I do also have a really juicy corruption, +1 level of Socket of Belgium, so that's obviously not juicy, but it helps. Whatever, I'll take it. It's better than nothing, or a bricking something. But Herald of Thunder with Curse on Hit, Warlord's Mark. This helps a little bit. It gets you a few endurance charges over the course of the map. You can't really sustain them because I swear they nerfed this Herald of Thunder Curse on Hit, but it just doesn't feel as good as it used to. I don't know, but it does help. You get some endurance charges and some additional leech. Just might as well throw it in there because there's not much else you need. And then Ice Golem. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much the build. But I really hope you guys try this. It's a blast. Really strong build. It's very versatile. It's flexible. You know, you could do anything in it. You don't have to make any changes. You can change it to become like a boss wrecker, or you know, you could, like I was saying earlier, you could use Rigwald's, take off Point Blank, and probably just clear several screens with a shot or two on maps. You know, that would help a lot with racing to 100. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I would highly suggest trying this build because it's a blast, a lot of fun, especially if you like TS like me and you've tried all the other variations of Doomfletch and all those things. Great build to start low and build up. But yeah, all right, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.